What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Next Big Thing podcast. I'm Brendan. I'm alongside Connor. And today we're joined by a very exciting guest all the way from Australia, 14 hours away, Anthony Kwok. He's the CEO and co-founder of ZILIO, which is a platform that helps you find the perfect size when you shop online. A bigger problem, I think that affects just about everybody that's watching this show. He is a very decorated entrepreneur. His accolades include the B&T 30 Under 30 Entrepreneur winner of that award, and a few other awards as well. So with that being said, Anthony, welcome on the podcast.
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Connor, man. It's really a pleasure to be here and join you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we're excited to have you. So I was looking at your website. So according to your company, online shopping returns encompass a $1 trillion problem. With that being said, why is now the perfect time for ZILIO to enter that market?
Well, online shopping is bigger than it has ever been, especially over lockdown of COVID, right? E-commerce as an industry has grown a decade into the future in just a few years, right? It just blew up. But even before COVID, it was already blowing up. Like, you can see shopping centers, like 5 years before COVID, you can see shopping centers getting quieter and quieter every year just because of online shopping. So it's big industry. But the only thing, the way I see it, the only thing or the one thing that's holding back the entire industry is the fact that people don't know how things fit. I mean, look around half your mates, right? Most people don't shop online just because of this reason. Or if they do shop online, they're returning by the bucket load and they're hating their lives. And with that, like, everybody's copying it. The shoppers are hating their lives doing it. The businesses are bleeding through their profit lines heavily. Environmental, most returns don't go back in the shelves. They get burnt, or they end up in landfill, or the freight delivery emissions. It's just such an unnecessary problem that has no solution to it. So now is the perfect time, especially with the technology coming up with AI and everything, allowing us to really create a solution that works and solve something. I think this is the perfect time. It's like, everyone's been waiting for something like this. So the people are ready, the tech's ready, space industry is ready. Yeah.
Anthony, can you explain the business model a little bit more? I get your B2B, as in you get deals and partnerships with these brands, but then you have the consumers create a unique avatar so that they can see the clothes fit on them. So can you explain the business model and then the vision you have for the future going forward?
Yeah, it's kind of like a B2B to C. It's totally free for shoppers to use, to create an avatar and to use it to find their fit when they shop online. Basically, we make our revenue through brands paying us. So our thinking, well, look, with this sizing problem, 30% of everything bought online is returned. So there's like an average rate of 30% return rate. Conversion rate or sales, it's like only on an average 3%. And most people don't end up buying online because they're not sure about the size. So what we do is that we go to brands and be like, hey, listen, you guys have, let's just say, $1 million worth of returns a year. We can drop that by 50 or 60%. I'm just throwing out numbers there. Yeah. We can drop that by 60%. That's saving you $600,000 a year. And on top of that, we can increase your conversion rate by X amount. So by giving these guys the value, like giving these businesses this kind of commercial value, we'll be able to, price our business model off the back of that. Now, the specific pricing around this, we're still kind of testing, working out with our initial pilot brands, with getting some data and knowing exactly how much value we can provide these brands and how much we can charge off the back of that. But that's basically what it looks like. So for users, for shoppers, it's totally free, but for brands, it'll be a kind of partnership there.
And what do you think the rough estimate of conversion boost brands get when they use ZILIO? Have you gotten enough data to be able to analyze and figure out and say, look, it used to be 3%, but we can bump it up to 6-7%, which is a lot, especially for these e-commerce businesses.
Yeah, I mean that's double their entire revenue, right? We only launched with our first brand a few weeks ago, and like we've been spending a few years trying to build the tech because it's just super, I guess, complicated. But we figured it out. We launched a few weeks ago, and we haven't gone to the stage of being able to say exactly, okay, we know that ZILIO can increase conversions by X amount and reduce returns by X amount, but we have seen engagement go through like almost double on this on the styles of products that ZILIO's features live in compared to the other ones that aren't. The drop-off rates on those sites have just gone down. The bounce rate's gone down. So the site engagement has boosted up, but we're over these past few weeks, we haven't been in many styles of that store, of our initial store. So we're rolling it out right now. We've finished the system that can help us roll it out really quickly. And then we're going to be rolling it out across a few more other initial pilot brands. Once we cover the store, we'll be able to get that traffic and I guess a good amount of data to show us and give us a good idea on how to price things and go about it.
So with a complicated idea and an awesome idea, I may add, comes with some significant difficulties in getting there. And what a lot of people might not know about your business is that at the beginning, it was pretty tough. It wasn't always just this pretty business on the outside. Can you talk about how when you almost went bankrupt and how that kind of led you to be the company you are today?
Which time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Many times.
I'm talking more specifically about when you were hiring the tech engineer and investors pulled out.
Yeah. Okay. That actually happened more than once. So that
Wow.
actually happened again recently. It's so choppy and changey. The kind of business we're in, the kind of space we're in, right? So people will give you a big promise. A few people give you a big promise, and then something happens because the market's gone down. All their investments have gone to crap, and then all the money gets pulled under you, and then you're in survival mode. But in the beginning, it felt like the weight of the world was on your chest kind of thing. It was hard to breathe, and you still have to be calm enough to put that aside and think clearly to find a way out of this. Because if you don't find a way, it's not like your boss is going to find a way, or your manager. You can throw it to another coworker. It's going to be gone. Like you're the last kind of defense, right? So at the start, it was I really felt that pressure, but I also used that negativity to fuel me. So it was kind of like an unhealthy way of motivating yourself. It's kind of like you're driving a sports car using nitrous, right? Like a little bit sometimes is good, but like if you're just fucking holding it on for the entire drive, like you're gonna burn something. So that was really tough. But look, as I've come through the business, like as I've been doing this for a few years, you plan for the worst and you just hope for the best. But even if the worst happens, you're like, yeah, fuck it. After a while, you're like, fuck it. You know what? Like you're expecting this anyways, and it's nothing is really a surprise. You're not really lying to yourself, but you're also very, very hopeful and excited about the other side if it does happen. So it's a very big balancing act. So yeah, we almost went bankrupt. We're always almost bankrupt depending on how much money we have in the bank. But now, especially nowadays, especially this year and last year, a lot of our friends and family have been putting funds in and believing in us. Before that, we had to beg people for like, please just give us X amount so we can live 3 weeks longer or not be bankrupt within 4 weeks and give us an extra month to figure things out. Now it's a little bit okay. It's a bit better.
Yeah. Do you think that mindset and that persistence came from being a professional Muay Thai fighter? Like, have you always had that, or was that over your career of being a professional Muay Thai fighter and having to have that discipline and that perseverance? Because the fighter's journey is up and down, just like the entrepreneurial journey. So did that help prepare you for the entrepreneurial journey with that mindset of keep going even when it gets tough, just keep going and keep chugging on?
Yeah, I think like when people feel like they want to quit, a lot of people, like obviously if you're at that point of like actually wanting to like feel having that voice, or feeling like you want to quit or give up because you're in so much discomfort, pain, or whatever it is, most people might just crumble and just stop and start making excuses. But I feel like with kickboxing, especially even in training, when you're like, nah, I'm done, and then you get slapped across the head and then you can do like 3 times more, you just realize what you're actually made of. You never actually end up quitting when you feel like giving up, and you just keep pushing through. So I think, yeah, I like it's maybe I don't see discomfort or pain or fear like other people. I obviously still feel it, but it doesn't. I don't put too much meaning behind it. It's just noise to me because I know I've got to get this done, and this needs to be done no matter what. That's just it. I think that, yeah, that's definitely from kickboxing. But yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, and then I also kickboxing taught me how to lose really well as well. Lost so many times in kickboxing, especially at the start. Beef, I feel like, yeah, being able to lose and lose really well, and turning into a win. Kind of like Conor McGregor, right? He gets like choked out and he still like turns into a win because he's so boss like about it.
It's the
Kind of like that.
same mindset of knowing that the loss isn't permanent, it's temporary, and that you're going to use it as a learning curve to get better for the next battle, the next fight, the next opportunity.
Yes, it's more like it's kind of like the meaning you put behind it. So, what if I had to lose this time to find this lesson in order to actually achieve everything that I wanted? What if this was like the one thing that I can take away that no one else can take away? I don't know. Maybe it's something to be excited about. Like fucking yeah. I don't know. I just see things a little differently.
So,
So it's realizing that a loss isn't a loss. It's the lesson. You take the lesson, but because you had that loss, it can put you on a journey to get to the pinnacle of success because you learned that one lesson in that one little episode where it's a quote unquote loss.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lesson. It could be like character building or anything. Like the way I see it, and this is the same with kickboxing. You know that quote, make goals so big and scary that you're not actually able to achieve them until you grow into a person that is able to achieve them. It's kind of like that. Maybe I'm not able right now. Maybe I'm not at that level, right? But every time I lose, or every time I kind of get face hardship, I'll level up. I'll take things out of it. I'll get stronger. I'll get more calloused mentally, and I'll just one day I'll get there. And these are just like these little intricate little building blocks that will form me. That will help get me there. Whatever it is, lesson or just whatever it is. Yeah, not doesn't have to be just one lesson, but like I'm taking it into the next thing. But experience, whatever it is.
so you seem to be a pretty principled guy, which is tends to be a very constant character trait across entrepreneurs. How would you say you've tried to instill your principles into Zilio and grow the company from there?
I think by having really honest conversations, um, by being real with the team. I think when in, I think being able to communicate and being able to be authentic and real with your team is really important, especially if you want to instill these principles in, without coming across as it's my way or the highway kind of thing. Sitting them down and be like, hey, listen, I think we got to really look at this because it's not, I feel like we can do better. And the reasons why, the reasons why I think all of us is going to benefit from actually doing this because yada, yada, yada. It's not. So, yeah, like I think my principles are, like, I'm a very logical guy and there's a reason behind why I do a lot of things. And yeah, I found that instilling it into Zilio, people just need to understand why. And in the end of the day, it's not just for me. It's the thing that will help everybody get to where we need to go. So it's kind of like a win-win for everybody. So that's how I instill it in ZILIO, just by those honest conversations, being upfront, real, and not being afraid of having those really uncomfortable talks as well.
Can you tell us about the partnerships ZILIO has right now?
With the brands?
Yep.
Yeah. So at the moment, we've got 9 fashion brands signed with the letter of intent. And then we're actually live in one brand called Denim Smith. So Denim Smith's a Melbourne-based, Australian-based denim jean specialist brand, and they've also got a factory that they produce or manufacture everything, or like every one of their styles in-house, right here in Melbourne as well. So yeah, they were actually a pretty decent mid-sized fashion label. That's like as a first brand to launch into, it's a pretty cool achievement. And then we've also got some other brands that are similar size lined up over the next few weeks, but I don't know if I'll be able to name drop at the moment.
You can't tell us yet?
I can't tell you. I'm sorry, but we're focusing on jeans right now, just because the system we've got, it's kind of like a garment library. So we can kind of create the library of like different styles. At the moment, we've just invested into jeans, but we can always like just flip into shorts, t-shirts, and start rolling it out after we build a good foundation with jeans and do it well. We didn't want to spread our focus across all the different garments and do everything kind of blasé. We want to like do one thing really, really well, and then just move on to the next thing and move slow, but do it well.
So this seems like something that brands would be head and shoulders excited about, just because you feel like even if it didn't work, it would teach them something about their brand, and it seems like something that would help them. It's probably going to work because this is such a huge problem. But what is the kind of pushback you're getting from brands right now, or the brands that you maybe having trouble getting them to sign on? What are their questions, and how are you addressing them?
It depends on the size of the brand. The bigger the brand, you're not really like if it's a big brand, you're not really most of the time talking with the owner of the brand. They're most likely not the only decision maker. You need to like kind of go through all those ranks. So there's 2 types of things. With the smaller guys, we actually haven't had that much pushback with the smaller guys. Like everyone's signing on. Like there's no solution. It's a big problem. There's no solution in the market. It's not that hard to find synergy with brands with what we're doing. Bigger ones, different story. You obviously need proof and evidence that like it all sounds really good, but you just need to have statistics. Okay, out of 5,000 users, we have seen the return rate drop. We have seen the yada yada go up. This is the amount of people who actually go in and use ZILIO, like yada yada. How easy is it to use? How many people drop off? Like you need the full picture backed up by data with that. So that's just really it, to be honest. I think another thing is potentially, because we do body scanning, another thing could be that the onboarding process might be a little like there might be a little friction around that. It might be a bit too hard for people to body scan. People might drop off or not use it. So there's that. But the way we see it, our solution is one of the only solutions that provides so much information and detail in 3D around how garments will fit on your body using a 3D avatar. It's very personalized to each style, to each size. So like you'll be able to see how wide the pant leg is compared to your own legs, or how long it is compared to your body proportions, right? You can't get that anywhere else. So the way we say, we've done 1 billion tests as well, or 1 billion interviews. People would rather do that than have to walk all the way to the post office and send something back like 20 times, a month or something. So
100%.
Do it once. So yeah.
100%. No, I could see myself using it. Can you I I don't think we've touched this yet, but can you go into how the body scan works and how it works for each consumer and what that
Mm,
process was like?
definitely, yeah. Um, so the way ZILIO works as a solution is that it plugs into the online stores of fashion labels. So let's just say you're shopping at Ralph Lauren, for example, right? You go onto the product page of Ralph Lauren and near the size, like select all the add to cart button, there'll be a try it on button powered by ZILIO or virtual try on button powered by ZILIO. And when you click that, within that page, so within the online store, there'll be a little pop out, a little slider, a little widget that comes out on the side. And from there, you enter some of your details if you want to sign up and create a new account. When you're creating a new account, we'll give you a QR code on the screen to scan with your smartphone. Once you've scanned that, your phone will kick open the camera within your browser. So within Safari, Google Chrome, whatever it is. So you don't need to download an app. And then you just basically put your phone 2 meters in front of you with your camera facing you, like your screen facing you. We'll give you a silhouette. We'll give you some instructions before that. But basically, a few meters in front of you, put it on like a chair or a ledge, like a meter or something off the ground, just so your entire body can fit into the silhouette. We're going to take 2 photos. So one front and then one side. After that, you press send, you press confirm, you're happy with the photos, it will send it off to our AI systems. Our systems will basically extract all of your measurements 360 degrees. And once that's done, so it's all automated. No one's actually behind there just looking at your images and trying to like do step by steps. It's all automated. Once that's done, we'll delete your images, but we'll keep your data set of measurements. And then with your data set, we'll create a 3D avatar exactly in your body shape and body size. And then you'll be able to, and then basically you put your phone away, you go back to your computer screen and you'll be able to see your avatar. The whole process will take about like 30 seconds, 60 seconds of like, well, maybe depending on how long you take to take the photo, but like the loading, like once your photos are sent, like 30, 60 seconds at the moment, and we'll give you like a progress status update as well.
So it's you use AI to get the data to set the metrics so that you can have the data and figure out, because brands, they always run different with the clothes. So they can figure out, oh, this person might be a medium for this brand, but this person's going to be a large for this brand. Now, will the individual avatar kind of follow along to the different brand websites? And will it always remember it?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of like an online passport. So you can, once you have an account, you can just log into your
That's
account
awesome.
and see the different types of fits. Because every time we partner with these different brands, they give us the garment measurements, or we can get the garment measurements specifically for each different style, for each different size. So it's very individualized, and you'll be able to see the difference with everything.
Now, how has that process been, trying to figure out how to get AI to do its part of ZILIO when it comes to gathering the data, making sure it's accurate? And how has the industry currently impacted your business model and your vision for the future?
Look, it hasn't really impacted anything because we've seen this coming a mile away, and we've actually that's been our game plan for years, for our long-term plan. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with AI in like the next year or 2 or 5 years, right? Like, I don't actually know, but yeah, look, AI for us has been around for a very long time. It's just become mainstream in the media, but it's nothing new. It's computer. It's literally deep machine learning. It's like all our competitors know about it. Like, it's not the secret. Everything uses AI. It's just become mainstream now. So it hasn't really impacted anything, to be honest.
You don't even think it's crowded the environment around you just because it seems like everyone wants to create a new AI company? Do you think that that's going to help or hurt you, or do you just don't think it's going to have any impact?
It definitely, I like to say, it's not going to have any impact. Is probably just pretty overconfident way of saying it. or looking at it. But yeah, everyone wants to do AI. It's just it's such a small part of our business. In solving the sizing problem, people have done AI really well before. If they can, with that alone, can solve the $1 trillion, sizing problem, then it would have been done already. But like, it's not just one area of our solution. It's not just AI, or it's not just kind of like the 3D mapping that is going to, make the biggest difference when attacking this problem. So look, I think that it's going to make our jobs a lot easier. It's going to help us scale a lot better, because we're not going to have to pay potentially 80,000 for a salary or 100 grand for a salary, when we can just, get AI to do it and streamline everything and automate everything. So I think it's actually going to make our lives a lot easier. In terms of competition, we'll be fine. Bring it on.
So one of your earlier interviews, you said you went with the B2B business model first because you wanted to be able to invest more money in technology.
Yeah.
So how has that gone? And when you say invest in technology, are you talking about investing in kind of like the camera system to get the measurements? What specifically is the technology aspect of ZILIO?
There's so many. So yeah, there's not like not necessarily the camera system, but it's all, I guess, like the 3D, the physics around like creating a garment in 3D. There's getting literally, the camera to work within iPhones, because when we started, this didn't exist. Creating an avatar, how can we create a accurate avatar using measurements? Like it's a totally different system. There's like, on the avatar, there might be like on your arm 500 or 5,000 vertices that make up your arm, little like dots, right? Each of them have like XY coordinates. The amount of like hectic physics and maths and geometry and calculus and stuff that goes into just one small area is insane. So I think that's just like a small part of the tech. And we also have to build the tech that works with fashion brands, because the fashion industry, I know this is kind of like blowing over it kind of bit, but like the fashion industry is also very, very old school. They basically design clothes on like cave walls. So being able to build a system that can digitize all their work in a really scalable manner also takes a lot of R&D as well. And basically, when we first set out to do this, and basically even I can almost be confident to say most of our technology now doesn't really exist. It definitely didn't exist. That's why there was no virtual fitting rooms around. So, and we didn't have like $1 billion. So most of it was literally trial and error. It was literally like trying to build a car in a garage that wasn't made to build cars. So we had like a vague idea on how we needed the solution to be to actually solve the problem. And then we just had to find different technology pathways to link it up. That's what was, the most expensive about it. It wasn't just, we're going to build a website, it's going to take X amount of hours, straight road. It was just like fail, try kind of thing.
You were trying to build something before it was even a thing. And it was just trying to basically invent and create that. Now, with the clothing and apparel and fashion industry kind of still being old school with the technology, has that posed some sort of constraint as to your growth opportunities and getting it into more brands?
No. So this is actually something we've been building our entire business around. So we're not building for the future. We're kind of building something that can roll out really, really well and work really, really well with how the industry is, how the industry is right now. Once the industry kind of progresses and turns more digital, or the 3D world kind of upgrades and the tech there becomes even better, then our system is actually designed to be able to easily upgrade and adapt that and flip everything and just move with the waves. So no, not at all. I think the biggest thing for us is that we just need to add more garment styles into our garment library so we can digitize those garments really quickly. But apart from that, we're good to go.
So you have this company that's obviously starting to get some tailwinds. They're still in the beginning stages. But I guess sometimes you've got to sit down and look towards the future and say, what do I want this company to look like 10, 15 years from now? What do I want its legacy to be? What does that look like for you?
I want ZILIO. Oh, I can see ZILIO being a forefront kind of brand in the fashion industry, the fashion retail industry. The way I see it, the digital world and the fashion world is just they're both gonna blow, especially the digital world. It's really gonna integrate its to DNA into the fashion retail space, right? Everything's gonna be really, really digital. I feel like the only thing holding back the potential of online shopping and development with the tech is that it's just this sizing problem. It's just like that most people don't shop online. People who do shop online return tons and don't really, hate their lives doing it. Companies are burning through so much cash, just dealing with returns, right? That imagine if this problem didn't exist. Imagine how much resources, imagine how big online shopping would be. But online shopping is already super big right now. Imagine the digital capability, the potential of what it could be if something like this wasn't holding it back, wasn't just, yeah. So if ZILIO can be the one to solve this problem, I feel like online shopping would be blown up and we'd be at the forefront of that wave as well. What that could look like, I see ZILIO being like a professional stylist for people in the long run. So let's just say you go into Levi's right now, go into the store of Levi's. Let's say you're a kind of like a bigger person, not that tall, but kind of just you're solid, right? You're a solid guy, you go in there and then you ask them for a skinny jeans. What a professional stylist would tell you would be like, hey, listen, just get this slim jeans because that will just give you that skinny look and skinny tapered look without blowing out your proportions. Things you will never really know without actually having a professional stylist or having a professional salesperson who is an expert in that product or industry, like that space, guide you. But we want to do that because the amount of data we'll have, we'll be able to give such personalized experiences and guidance when people shop online that we can be that hub of like that fashion capital of guiding people to certain brands they might not know, certain styles, yeah. Whatever that looks like it would just, we just want to be that platform, that place where people go to for digital fashion.
Well, it's an incredible vision. You seem like an incredibly principled founder, somebody that it's easy to believe in. And it's been great talking to you. What we do at the end of every interview is we give you the floor, 2-minute elevator pitch. You're just met a guy you think, might be a good investor. You want to pitch your company. Here's the floor, 2 minutes. What do you got?
Hi, I'm Anthony, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of ZILIO. ZILIO is a virtual fitting room solution that helps people find their perfect fitting sizes when they shop online for clothes. And this problem is close to home for most people because nobody knows how anything will fit when they shop online for clothes. And in fact, this problem is so big that globally, this is $1 trillion problem, right? I mean, let's look at returns. Around 30% of everything bought online is returned. And most returns happen because of sizing. And on top of that, most returns don't go back on the shelves. For the most part, they either get burnt or they end up in landfill because it's just too expensive for businesses to process after a certain point. And this is the real cost of all those free returns. And it's all because of one simple little problem of people not knowing how things fit when they shop online for clothes. So here's what ZILIO is doing about it. We've developed a virtual fitting room solution that integrates directly into the online stores of fashion labels for shoppers to use. With ZILIO, you'll be able to see exactly how clothes will fit on your body in every single size. And here's how it works. let's say you're shopping at an online store of one of our partner brands. You know the add to bag button on the product page. Next to the add to bag button, there'll be a try it on button powered by ZILIO. And if you don't already have an account, you can scan your body with your smartphone and we'll create a 3D avatar of you on the spot. Then with your avatar, you'll be able to see how garments would fit on your body in every single size. And we do this with garment measurements, heat maps, and garment outlines. And you can also translate all these fit measurements and see if they're too loose, too tight, or just the right fit based on the designer's own recommendations. And that's it.
That was great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That
that
was a
was
great
awesome.
pitch.
That was awesome.
That was
Anthony, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. 14 time zones away, 14 hours away. But no, thank you for your time. We're rooting for you. And we're looking forward to the next time we're shopping online, seeing Try It On with ZILIO.
Legalize.